Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Candace, at Candace T. Wilson on Twitter, and welcome to my very first vlog of what is probably going to be many eventually in the future. So today we're talking about Supernatural, and the new season, season 6, started on Friday on the CW, and the first episode was called Exile on Main Street. And before I start really talking about it and getting into analysis, predictions, so on and so forth, I just thought I would tell you guys a little story. Because I've never, at least not that I remember, in my life have watched an episode of Supernatural until last Thursday, the 23rd, the day before the new season. And the reason for that is actually, well, I don't know if you'd call it a good reason or not, but I've had so many people over the years since this show started, series started, for me to watch it. And I always told them, or gave them a stupid excuse, because I knew the moment I started watching the show that I would become obsessed with it and it'd become one of my favorite shows, and that's exactly what happened. So I was right. And I can't decide if that's a good or a bad thing. Not as if I need another show to obsess about and watch every week and analyze all in my crazy little head. So it's happened, and I don't know, maybe it's a curse. But either way, on Thursday, TNT literally had a 24-hour Supernatural marathon, and I recorded every single one of those episodes into my DVR, and over the next 2 days, watched all 24 of them, which most of it I, eventually was able to figure out. Most of it was from season 4 and season 5. They actually showed probably over half of season 5. They skipped some episodes in the middle, but they showed the first couple episodes, and then they showed like the last 10 or something like that. And then they showed a lot from season 4. So basically everything I got was the story arc about the Judeo-Christian mythology that they brought into the show with the angels and Lucifer and Michael and so on and so forth. So that's pretty much what I got. And then on Saturday, I think it was, I bought season 1. Saturday? No, it was Friday, actually. I bought season 1 of Supernatural on DVD. Haven't watched it yet. And then, of course, I watched and recorded the new episode. Actually, I did record it, but my recording messed up for some stupid reason. I was so pissed. So I had to watch it online, which sucks, but that's the way it goes. So yeah, I have officially been a Supernatural fan for what? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday? Almost 5 days? And I'm doing a vlog about it. Interesting. Anyway, okay, so getting into episode 1 of season 6, Exile on Main Street. Now, I'd just like to let you know I have like 7-8 pages of notes on this episode, just this episode alone. So I'm gonna have to, that's way too much to, hang on to up here for this one video. So I'm going to have to keep referring back to my notes, and if I forget something and have to go back and talk about it again, that's what happens. Pick up with the events of Swan Song, and with Lucifer and Michael, Sam included, getting trapped back down in hell, and Dean goes to live with Lisa and her son Ben. And a year later, we zoom forward a year, and Dean is still living with them, and he's a construction contractor. I'm sorry, but I just couldn't picture that. I did like the montage at the very beginning of them going back and forth between present and flashbacks, between his life as a hunter with Sam and then his life, as Sam called it, apple pie life with Lisa and Ben. And what would you call them? There's just little things about him, there was, I actually didn't catch it until the second time I watched it, when Dean pulls out salt from the cupboard. At first, I was like, oh, maybe it's a flashback, but no, you realize it's present because he's pouring salt on eggs. I don't like salt on my eggs, but okay. And, just little things like that. And then they show a flashback of Sam and Dean working on the Impala, and then in the present, they show Sam and Ben working on the truck that he has. And then, of course, Dean is always Dean. Dean can never stop being Dean no matter what, even if he's not a hunter anymore. At the end of that montage, the last scene is of him going to sleep or whatever, and then you see his hand like hang down off the side of the bed, and it's only like inches away from holy water and a gun, which, Dean is still essentially Dean. But I thought they pulled off the year-long gap really, really well. A lot of shows have zoomed into the future like that, but most of them aren't able to really do it successfully, or realistically even. In fact, the only show I could think of that really did successfully do that time jump, and something as big as a year, and actually was a year in this instance was Battlestar Galactica. I don't know if you guys watching, I'm sure at least one of you that watch this is a BSG fan, but in the end of season 2, after they settle on New Caprica, Baltar's president, they have a shot of, Baltar on Colonial 1 landed on New Caprica, and they do a close-up of him. He's smoking, I think it is. I haven't watched the episode in a long time, but they go into it for a close-up, and he's smoking, and then they zoom back out, and he's still smoking, and then there's a subtitle at the bottom of the screen. It says 1 year later. And I don't know about you guys, but when I watch that, and all of a sudden 1 year later, you're like, what the hell? But they did it. They did it in such a great way that it was really successful. And the shows that are able to really pull off those time jumps, because they have great writers, that's the thing. You have to have great writers to pull something off like that. When you do, the writers have an opportunity to change the characters in a way that will suit the coming story. So in this instance, for a year, Dean hasn't been hunting. Sam's been off doing whatever Sam's been doing, if it's even Sam. And then all these other characters, Castiel, as far as we know, has been in heaven. And, I'm assuming Bobby, as we find out, knew about Sam and has been also hunting. And then Dean has been living this apple pie life with Lisa and Ben. And as far as we can tell, he is comfortable with it. There's little things that, as I said, Dean is essentially still Dean, with all those little subtle things like the holy water and the gun under the bed. And we find out later in the episode that at the door entrances he has, the demon traps and so on and so forth. But other than that, he seems fairly comfortable, and you would think a year later of not hunting and really settling into an easy, if you can ever call life easy, life, easier than hunting, I would assume. He does seem quite comfortable with it.